5, 6, 7,
And
8.
we're rolling.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Hey. I don't like it when I do that.
Okay. It's really over the top. I
We're gonna cut that out.
came with a little bit of energy, and you came with all energy.
Okay, we're gonna start over.
Too late. We already started. Hey, we just saw a movie.
Hey, we just saw a movie.
Hey, we just saw a movie.
I'm your Echo.
I'm your Alexa.
Okay.
And I'm also Josh.
And I'm Michelle.
And we just watched
The Platform
The Platform.
on Netflix.
Yes, not the New York City platforms, which I found out you cannot spit on. The cops will give you a $20 ticket.
$25 ticket.
$35
For the
in
train
2006. I don't know what it is. I don't know with
you
inflation.
would get a huge fine now because your spit could be carrying coronavirus.
That's
so
true.
You would definitely get. You'd
No one
probably
wants-
get jailed.
Probably, especially since they found out I'm not essential, non-essential.
Right. I think in New York, you would definitely go to jail.
And
Here,
then I definitely get the
You might just
coronavirus.
get like, don't do that, and then
There's barely
sent along
cops.
your way.
There's barely cops in the. I was about to say the sewers. There's barely cops in the subways of LA.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
I did see though. I think they're saying the metro's now just for essential workers.
How are they gonna tell that?
Don't know.
I'll just carry a mop in my hand. Yep,
Like, oh, you go.
going to mop
Go
up
on.
those lottery tickets.
I think also you can get in trouble for being outside without a mask on.
Wow.
Like starting Friday, I think they're going to start enforcing that.
All right.
I think.
That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. Best
Well.
not to leave your apartment.
Is that your new song?
Yeah, that's how they should get it out to the kids. Best not to leave your apartment
I think you'd
or
have
your
to
mom's
be,
house.
I think you'd have to be some sort of bear or light bulb or lizard to be able to sing that song.
Yeah, probably.
You can't just be a normal.
No, y'all
mi-
can't see my
you
little
can't
dance.
you can't be a middle-aged woman
I do.
selling that. Hey,
I'm not
you
a middle-aged woman.
Look. Let's not play this game. We don't have to play this game. We're middle-aged.
We're not middle-aged yet.
We're middle-aged.
I'm gonna live to be 125.
Wow.
So
In
I have a little bit
in
of time.
statistical time, you're middle-aged. If you
Mm.
live to 125, you can recalculate that
I'm an
information.
anomaly.
Yeah. This tea's too hot. I'm not gonna mess with it for a while. So
All right.
yeah, we talked about how we can't go outside. It rained all day. And
Good though. I hope probably the rain kept people inside
yes,
more so than people have been. So
probably.
that'd be
There's
good.
probably some warriors out there doing their thing in the rain. I
Hmm.
saw you and him walking in the rain. You don't remember that song? The
Not
two or three
not how
times,
you were just singing it. No,
the 2 or 3 times
I
we did it
didn't.
on Can I Kick It?
I didn't. I didn't catch it at first, but I got it when you got
You
into
did?
the.
Okay, gotcha.
I got it, and
Um,
I spared everyone. I did not sing along this
You did
time.
not sing along. It's okay. You could sing along if you want to.
Well, speaking of, are we gonna do a karaoke night? You've been talking about it.
I don't know. Like, I owe people a lot of work right now. I gotta start working on. I still haven't responded to somebody. They asked me what key this Radiohead song we're gonna cover and do a video of is in. I owe somebody some music for their soccer league. I owe Ableton some stuff.
And I think you owe
And-
yourself
I know myself an apology.
a karaoke night.
Yeah, I do. I also told Ned Rush that I would do a 30 minute set and send it to him for a thing he's trying to do.
Oh, calm
By
thing,
Friday.
right?
Huh?
Isn't it like a calm set? Is that what you-
No.
That's
and
something
then
different?
I still also yeah. So I also need. This is the busiest I've ever been. People requesting music, so I'm trying to get on top of all of it. Yeah. There's the thing for Paul. There's the thing for Ned. There's the thing for myself. For Leo.
All right, so
for-
this is just a to-do list podcast now.
Yeah. This is hey. I just got
Hey.
a to-do list.
Yeah. Hey, I got stuff to do.
Yeah. So we'll see about the karaoke.
All good problems, I
Yeah.
guess.
You know, you
Not
don't want
problems.
you don't want
it's
to be
just
doing
a list.
karaoke. Meanwhile, people are like, "I thought you were gonna do that thing for me." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't have time." They're like,
I
"But you're
had
doing
to do karaoke.
Yeah,
At this point, though, karaoke is like self-care,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
We got to blow off steam. Or I don't know, do something other than what we always do,
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I usually don't do this. I don't usually have people hitting me up for as much stuff.
That's true.
They're usually running around not thinking about me. So
Everyone's confined and focused
yeah,
now.
they're focused on me, so I might as well take advantage of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So karaoke, maybe.
I might as well just eat all the food because I'm on the second floor.
We'll get into that.
Segue
to the movie.
Speaking about segues, I was gonna buy us the
One wheel?
No, well, that'd be great. The Sega Genesis whatever pack full of a bunch of games on the Switch. But people told me the input lag. They didn't tell me. A lot of reports of input lag. So when you jump, it's like 100 milliseconds after you press the jump button.
Oh, and timing
Sonic
counts in these games, especially with Sonic. He runs fast.
Yeah, you don't want to hit those spikes, lose all your coins.
No. Well, that sucks.
I'm gonna start saying that whenever I get mad. I'm like, you're making me lose all my coins.
Okay.
It's my new thing.
Okay.
Don't lose your coins.
Don't lose your coins, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be the new thing.
Okay.
So yeah, speaking about floors, the platform.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wait, do you have something?
No, I literally just forgot what we were talking about. I got lost in the coins.
You're like, oh yeah, this is a Nintendo Switch podcast.
Yeah, I forgot what we were doing.
No, the platform.
Got it. Yeah, so we just watched the platform on Netflix.
That's right. Bum bum.
Bum bum. Released on March 20th on Netflix.
Ooh,
Bum,
look
bum.
at you, encyclopedia.
I can
You're
read.
like, can you
the
give me
Wikipedia.
the release date of it, please? Can you give me the etymology of it, please? Give us all the nerdy information.
Spain. It is from Spain. And here...
It's not from Spain. It's
not?
from España.
It says Spain on my Netflix.
It's a Spain.
On Wikipedia. It
Mr.
says
Spence.
Spain. Oh, we never went back to that show.
Yeah, Devious Maids.
What was it? Yeah, Devious Maids. I almost said Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Maids.
Desperate Maids.
They are essential workers.
Or Devious Housemaids. Housewives?
Housewives are not essential workers.
No. Well, I don't know. Okay, the platform. Just circle back to what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Can we circle back in this Zoom meeting? Well,
You talking about that BuzzFeed list?
send an email. Now, is there a BuzzFeed list about Zoom meetings?
There's a BuzzFeed list about spouses who found out what kind of
spouses
their spouses are.
Right.
They're like, oh my goodness, I'm married to the let's circle back or per usual guy.
Per my email. I hate that. Okay. Platform. So, weird movie, but let me just tell you what Netflix says it is. It says, a slab of food descends floor by floor in a prison. The inmates above eat heartily, leaving those below starving and desperate. A rebellion is imminent.
That's not true. I guess it is a slab of food, but it's not like one slab of food. It's like
a slab.
It's
a platform
slab.
of
It's
food.
a slab with food on it.
Yeah.
But when you say a slab of food, I just think of like a big
Slab of
piece
meat.
of like meat or one like giant sheet cake.
Right.
Not because it's a slab of food. But whatever.
Well,
They're the
it's a
ones making
slab
money.
with food on it.
That's what I said.
Right.
Yes.
I guess so.
That's all. That's my only critique of that.
Okay. Well, it's the genre Spanish movies, thriller movies.
That's a genre? Spanish movies?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. They call some movies black movies. That's a genre.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess movies made in America, is that a genre, American movie?
If you live in Spain.
Yeah, so I guess. Yeah, so if you're here with us on the podcast listening, we're going to assume you've watched the movie or don't care about spoilers because we have a lot of them.
Yes, and there's a lot of spoiling in this food because it's about food.
Ugh. Okay, first thing. First things first. So we take notes now during the movie because we're not in a theater, we're on our couch, and we can do that. So
sometimes I'm on the floor.
Right. So very first thing I wrote down, and I don't even know, I think we were 20 minutes into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down, OMG, do not watch this movie at dinner time. I was cooking dinner I was pausing and then cooking chicken and then would come back and then would go check on the chicken and then would come back. And then by the time it was time to eat the chicken, I no longer had an appetite. Could not eat chicken.
I'm a savage.
You're a savage. I did eat some broccoli.
21 Savage.
And some quinoa. So I did eat a little something. But the thought of eating chicken.
You ate a head of broccoli.
I couldn't do it. So, do you guys know why? This was so awful. This was like, he ate, that guy died quick, his roommate, right? So it was like, anyway, it just got brutal real quick and I couldn't eat my dinner. It ruined it.
You got to be able to separate the worlds.
It's in the fridge now. Maybe I'll eat it tomorrow.
Like that guy's body.
Ew.
It's in the fridge.
Mm-mm. Save
it till tomorrow with the maggots.
I don't even know where to start with this movie.
Start with So start with the description of it for people who may not have seen it.
Okay.
Or you start.
No. Okay. Sure. So this guy wakes up and he's in
the building.
It's a vertical prison, basically. Yeah. And they had some silly name for it. It was like a what did they call it? It was self-management tower.
Self-management tower.
Yeah, self-management tower.
I wasn't paying attention to that part.
Yeah, that's what she called it because he gets into a lady later and she has a different name for it. They call it a prison or they call it the hole. So it's this vertical prison and you wake up and you're on a certain floor. There's a number on your wall and there is just a hole in the middle and it goes all the way down. You can't tell how far it goes and it goes all the way up and you can't tell how far.
Is it a square or a rectangular hole? I think it's rectangular because it's like it's like a banquet.
Like a banquet table.
Banquet table like cutout.
Yeah. So this once a day, this thing goes burn and the light changes to green. And that means look out, your food's coming. So the platform shows up on your floor for 2 minutes each. And so the premise is that at the top, it's set for a gorgeous banquet. All this delicious foods. And then it goes floor by floor. Everyone gets 2 minutes to eat as much as they want. So obviously you're in prison and you're going to eat whatever you want and you're not thinking about how many people are below you and you have no idea how many there are anyway. So that's basically the premise. And then that's it. That's all there is to this prison is you're in there with one other person and you can talk to people above and below you, though nobody respects anybody, so don't bother. And then if there's food by the time it gets to you, the platform, by the time it gets to you, you may or may not have food to eat. And you are on your floor for 30 days. And then you wake up on the 31st day and you're in a different level. So you might be lower or you might be higher. You just don't know.
You never know. There's levels to this.
So it gets crazy.
Yes.
Survival, whatnot.
So I think the interesting thing about the levels idea and the platform idea, and if this is hard for you to understand, if you haven't seen the movie, just remember when you got out of work, like around the 13th or 14th of March, and there was no food. Essentially, that's what happened. It's the people who got there first got everything and hoarded it,
right? All
the toilet paper, and then you got nothing. So that's essentially the idea is there. I think the interesting thing about this like the whole platform concept was just really interesting to me because I thought who's doing the algorithm of who goes on what floor. Like, so if you're on floor 6, why do you end up on floor 108 the next time and then floor 65 and then all these other floors, And then I thought of kind of like Hunger Games style, like where did all this come from? Who
dreamed this up? Why are they doing it?
And then the other thing I thought of, which I usually do in movies like this is like, and I think about even in our own society is if we spent this much money on building this structure and building a platform and housing all these people and at the top floor having chefs, like 3-star Michelin chefs creating all this food, why didn't we just feed poor people to begin with and rehabilitate criminals or whatever to begin with. It's kind of, It just seems really expensive.
Yes.
Because it was all concrete.
Kind of over the top.
Yeah.
Definitely over the top.
I don't know where it was either. I'm like, was it in a mountain or was it just shooting up into the sky in a city? We never see the city.
We don't see anything outside this building.
We never see contacts. There's no the chancellor or any like Donald Sutherland.
Well, the only
type
thing we see is at the top where they're cooking the food, and like the head chef guy seems like he's
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. And all the chefs are afraid of him, and everything has to be absolutely perfect. Because I have a feeling if you mess up, you get thrown in the hole. You get thrown in a platform. So that nobody wants to be there. And then we see, for a split second, we find out how this main guy ends up in this situation. So he volunteered for this. So I guess most people are probably there because they're criminals.
Right.
Like his cellmate had sort of accidentally murdered somebody with his TV out the window. So he was there, and he said he only was going to be there for a year for that. And then our main guy, he said he wanted to quit smoking and read a book, and that at the end of 6 months, he was going to come out of it with an accredited degree.
And wait, hold on. Okay, so what is an accredited degree?
I think it just means that it's not from like Josh University.
Oh, it's from somewhere that's like the city deems.
Like it's legit. Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
For some reason, I was thinking it was like a certificate, and I was like, why would you do that for a
Or
certificate?
it's just become a buzzword that people put on things. I think maybe it used to have meaning. I don't really know anymore.
No, I think it's accredited because where I teach, like, it's an accredited. It's an accredited university, so you have to meet certain guidelines and things like that.
Yeah. So I guess
I guess it's just college or whatever. He didn't say what type of degree or anything. What kind of degree do you think he was going for?
I don't know. He liked reading. He really was into reading. I'm gonna say literature.
Not English?
No, more specific. It was gonna be literature.
I was saying liberal arts.
Is there a literature degree?
Probably. There's every degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be. Yeah, it would be a very weird thing to go for either one of the ones we just said.
Maybe he wanted to come out and be a professor.
I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know if everybody knew what they were getting into.
I don't think so.
I think they just thought, oh, you'll be locked up somewhere for a year or something.
It was probably not explained very well at all. Are there ads outside? Like, how did he find out about this?
Join the platform.
Right. Is this like from a bus bench? He was like, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you'll get a degree. Yeah,
there's a lot of questions outside of this. It's very much a sealed story.
Yeah.
You don't know why or when or how, or we know who, what.
Well, we know who's in the
what.
We
know not how, but we know.
We don't know
some
anything.
of the whys. We know some of the whys.
Anything.
Not everybody's wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. The whole platform was kind of a weird idea. I think the thing that is always perplexing to me, and I think scary for probably everybody who was in the platform, is that it's just an open rectangle. So whenever the platform's not there, when the platform's there, you pretty much have a full floor that's a slightly raised with food on it. And then when it's not there, you just have a rectangular hole that has no visual end in sight.
Right.
Which is very menacing to people.
Yes. Seems terrifying.
Yeah.
And so people would wake up on a terrible floor and then jump.
Yeah.
Or their crazy roommate was so hungry, they attacked them.
Right. Or they just wake up dead.
Or they wake up dead. Oh, yeah. Our guy wakes up in his second room. So the first room he was in was like a decent number, I guess. There was some sort of food on the platform once it got to them. And then he wakes up the second time. And I guess you always keep your same roommate. So the old guy he was in there with had been there a while, knew the game, woke up on a terrible floor, like 172 or something.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be no food coming their way. So our poor guy wakes up tied to his bed because his old roommate was like, I'm going to have to eat you. So this was just the easiest way to do this. You're bigger than me. You're stronger than me. You're younger than me. So I just had to tie you up, and I'm going to eat you eventually. And that's where that gross journey began, the cannibalistic journey for this guy.
Yeah, like I thought that the movie was going to be way more killing and
There was
just
a ton of killing.
No, I just mean like killing, because when you put people in a room, and they both have to kind of like scrounge for food, and people just get on each other's nerves. I would think a lot more people would just end up killing each other just out of anger and not really out of like need to eat.
I see.
That's what I thought it was going to be like. Well, I also thought maybe they were going to kill each other. It was kind of like the Running Man. Like you would have to kill each other to win.
To survive, to level up or something.
Yeah, if you killed your roommate, you would level up. But it was strictly based off of food. It was just, if you can stay alive for however long you're supposed to be here.
He was supposed to be there 6 months. And actually he killed his roommate. Well, his roommate was going to start eating him. He was like, it's okay. I'm going to take care of you. Like, I'm going to cut you little by little, and then I'll bandage you up so you won't die. I'm going to try to not kill you, but I'm going to eat you. And then there's this like feral woman that rides the platform. And so anyway, she jumped off and saved his life, and stabbed the old man. But he jumped out of that bed. As soon as she cut him out, he jumped out and finished the job.
Well, yeah, if somebody tied you up and said that they were going to slowly eat you, I think you'd be willing to kill them.
Yeah.
I know I would be.
So then he ate the old man for the rest of the month.
Yeah. Maggots and all.
Ew. Yeah.
I
couldn't do it. I don't know if you saw, I put my sweater over my head. I couldn't. And then the sounds of it, I can't.
It's not real.
Ugh.
It's not real.
I know it's not real, but it's
not
gross.
real yet. You got to prepare yourself for the future.
So gross.
Hail Hydra.
I don't think I could eat you. I think I would just die.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Hopefully I'll never know. But
and you're like, well, now that I think about it.
Are we back to eating cheeks?
Yeah.
This is a theme of ours. So
I don't even think most of that theme has been released yet.
Oh, well then it's coming on future podcasts. Maybe this will make sense. But the theme of this thing had a very obvious, what was the obvious theme? But I will read to you what the
I thought this was your own theme.
No, this is what the film's key message was from the director.
The director?
I think. It says the film's key message is that humanity will have to move towards the fair distribution of wealth, with an exploration of the importance of individual initiative in driving political change.
Yang gang, baby.
Yeah. So obviously that's what this whole thing was. I mean, he tried when he was first there. He started yelling like, hey, only eat what you need. Only eat what you need. And everybody's like, shut up, man. We've been here. I know this. I'm going to eat what I want. So nobody would listen. And then he ended up in another cell with a lady who actually works for this. She was the recruiter that brought him in. And so she tried to do the same thing. She spent like 15 days yelling at the guys below her. Yeah. Only eat a portion and then do the same for the people below you, trying to start change. And he was like, that's not going to work. And she was like, we need to spark, what was it? Spontaneous change. He's like, that's not real. That doesn't happen. And it only worked when he threatened people.
Yeah. Spontaneous change only works with violence. Sadly.
Right.
Or violent words.
Right. So he threatened the people below him. He threatened to poop all over the food. And unless they started...
That's how I get people to listen to me.
You threaten to poop on them?
Yeah, on their food.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I'm going to poop on your food if you don't
How do you get access to their food?
I just sneak
Nobody.
in.
You can never be a Uber Eats delivery guy. Or
a Poober Eats?
Yeah. Yeah. You can never be a Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Delivery guy.
Sure I can.
No.
Yeah.
This is evidence now.
Yeah, I guess so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll get more people to listen to the podcast. That's cool. Yeah. I'm good with it. I think that, this social, political, economic blah-ness is, it was very evident in the film. Because in the beginning, he tries to be very caring and thinking about other people and all that type of stuff.
The old guy, he yelled at him, are you a communist?
Oh, yeah. That's what he said. Are you a communist? So yeah, he tried to be rational about this, but I think that kind of talks about how the different stages of being human are. Like, you're like, oh, let's go feed the homeless, and then you're like, oh, we fed them, and they're still hungry, and there's more people, and we didn't get to feed them all, and then some people said, you only have apples, and you're just gonna like,
Right.
I don't, and so then some people just go, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I think that's kind of what happened to him. He was like, I'm going to help these people. I'm going to try to talk to them and talk some sense into them and reason with them. But when people are in dire straits, they're not easily reasonable
Right.
because, they're just thinking about themselves, because that's how we most of the time stay alive. So, he started to realize that when he got his second roommate after he killed the other guy, the old guy. He got the lady who worked at the center, or the platform center. And he realized that that's not really going to work, and he was trying to tell her, but it was funny because at least she put some action to it. She started making plates and tried to say like, hey, eat off of these plates. I think that's the government in her. She's like, 2,000 calories a day. These,
Right.
The food nutritionist.
She's like, I know exactly what you need.
Right. And they're like, don't tell me what I need.
Right.
And so
this is how optimistic she came into, though, is she also said she didn't know exactly what was going on, but she also came in with her dog. Like everybody could bring one thing. She brought in her little dachshund. She had no idea.
Yeah. She be dumb.
Spoiler alert, dog does not survive. As soon as I saw that dog,
yeah,
I knew somebody was going to eat that dog.
Yeah, that's kind of like bringing in a rack of lamb. Yeah. You're just like, I have this rack of lamb. I just like to hang out with it. People are like, no, that's not what that's for. That's for food.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's the thing is, to some degree, if everybody just ate a couple of bites every day or something like that, it's not like you're doing anything. I don't know if anybody was lifting weights or anything or expelling a lot of energy.
Just sitting there.
So, yeah, there was a ton of food. There's like food on top of food. Like if you just think of some Victorian home, and when or what was that show that everybody watched?
Like a cruise ship buffet.
Or Downton Abbey,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they just had
So much
this table
food.
of food. If everybody just had like, oh, I'm gonna eat some grapes, and I'm gonna have like a couple of pieces of chicken.
Because that's the thing, is you got fed every day.
Yeah.
Like the thing came every single day. Yeah. So if everybody just had a few bites, you're going to be kind of hungry, but you're not doing anything. You're just sitting around waiting for to come by again. So you just take a few bites of something different the next day.
But I think the thing that was genius about it is that they let everybody switch floors, so you can be part of the have and the have not. So then that creates desperation, because everybody always said, they're like, hey, chill on the food. And they're like, I was just on 148 and I didn't eat for like a week. And
you don't know what it's
I was
like.
blah, blah, blah. And I had to eat a guy. I'm going to do whatever I want. And so if they would have kept people like at the floors that they were at, they could have mobilized. But because they kept moving people around randomly, it forced them to...
Right. You couldn't really build an alliance. I mean, I guess maybe if you got a couple floors going and then they spread it, but this is a dire situation, and not everyone's going to survive more than a couple switches.
Yeah, but even that, I'm just saying, like, in your own psyche,
right?
Just being not knowing. I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of situations people are in right now, they don't know what the future is going to be, whether it's food or their job or their own health. No one's like, you keep saying that Ford ad. It's like, oh, 3 months we'll pay for it, and then 3 months you do, and it'll start 6 months from now. People are like, I don't know what's going to happen 6 months from now. Why am I going to buy a Ford Explorer?
Right. Everything is, it's pretty up in there. It makes it harder. People a little more, you get a little more tight-fisted when you don't know what's coming next month.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, well, let's leave some of this cake for the other person. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to ever have not even cake, but food ever again.
Right.
So everybody just ate whatever they wanted.
Well, it's just panic.
But I think
life.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it is people, even like now, people will badmouth other people for their decisions, but they are hypocritically doing the same thing. Like, his first roommate was like, oh, the people on the top don't care about us and blah, 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 blah. And then the guy goes, well, why don't we leave some for the people below them? He's like, nah, they're trash. And it was like, wait a minute.
Right. And he was like spitting down
spitting
on
in
the food.
And then just like throwing stuff. And then he peed on the food.
And then the next month, he was down below.
Right. And then he was like, those people at the top.
Right.
So it's just kind of how humans operate.
Yeah. And then that lady, we found out she was dying anyway. That's one of the reasons she came in. She wanted to try and help the situation, and she also didn't have anything to live for. So she was like, well, I'm going to die anyway. Let me just go into this and try and help or change what's happening.
I don't know what she was trying to do.
I don't know what.
She allegedly didn't know anything.
I don't think I think she said she didn't know to the extent of what it was.
Oh.
But because she didn't know there were so many floors. Because there ended up being like 300 floors or something crazy.
Yeah.
And she thought there might be 200, which means she thought there were 400 people in this thing. And she had to have known that there was not 400 people's worth of food on this platform and that it would not make it 200 floors down. But she ends up killing herself. I guess that was her last act of altruism, I guess.
Maybe. She never got to say anything for real. Her ghost or whatever did.
Her ghost told him that she could have jumped to her death, but she hung herself in the cell so that he could eat her.
Yeah, and that was the other thing is with both of the, and I think that's the psychological element of being alone and going through that kind of trauma is the guy that he killed and the lady that hung herself were both like in his head throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, they were talking to him and stuff, so his regret and conscience, I guess.
Conscience, I think.
The Jiminy Cricket?
Jiminy, is that?
Jiminy,
yeah, that is how you say it.
Jiminy Cricket of a platform?
Yes. The bloody
that guy was pretty short.
Jiminy Cricket. But he wasn't saying anything positive.
No, he really wasn't. Well, yeah, no, he wasn't. He was like, you murdered me.
Yeah.
I was just going to eat you. I was just going to eat you little by little, but you murdered me.
Yeah.
Is what he said. I don't know.
Another hypocritical thing.
Yeah, it's the same.
His own way of working through his own crimes.
Right.
Yeah, so then there's his third roommate. So it's kind of funny. His third roommate is this guy we find out, right off the bat, we find out he's religious and he's black because they point both of those things out very hard.
Right.
And I thought immediately, it's like, crap, not even in this society can a black person get treated as a first class platformer. Like they were just like, oh, a black man this, a black guy that, but, and I was like,
right.
Oh crap. I was like, we don't get any love.
Oh.
Even in the platform where everybody else is just treated like whatever. And then, except for that lady with the knife. They tried to assault her, but she stabbed them to death.
Yeah.
But, so this guy, he's religious, and this shows you how crazy, things get. And it was one of the weirdest parts in the scene. He wants to go up. They're on level 6, the main character and this guy. And he wants to go up. So he has a rope. I guess he brought a rope with him. Or he killed somebody for the rope, which I don't think he did. He probably
brought the rope. Or acquired it from someone else who had died. Maybe.
He seemed like a nice guy. And so he's like, hey, guys, can I come up to 5? And he was like, oh, why should we come up? Why should we let you up? And he was like, God told me in a dream. And they're like, oh, yeah, cool. So he throws the rope up. Best throw I've ever seen because I can't throw any rope. Yeah. It would have gone straight down. But he throws the rope up. They catch it. He starts to climb up the rope in the platform area. So everybody knows the time, so more than likely the platform isn't going to come back up, which comes back up at like 400 miles per hour or something like that. As Michelle pointed out, powered by magnets or...
We don't know what. There's literally nothing attached to this platform. It's magic.
By its wanting to be, close to food again. I don't know. So he's in that area, but the thing is that at any point they can let go of the rope and he just falls to his unknown.
Which is what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were just let him go.
But the jackassiest of things and the pranks of all pranks, the guy drops trowel and takes a dump on his head.
Ugh,
And I
it
was like,
awful. It was gross.
what in the world is going on?
I just realized that looked like he actually pooped.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know
the
how they did
actor.
that. I don't know if that's
Like, I
CGI.
don't
Maybe we should
know.
go back frame by
I
frame,
don't
or they
know.
had a stunt poo, or what.
I don't know.
It was definitely his butt.
Yeah.
So,
Ew.
and then pooped right on his face.
Really,
And
don't eat while you're watching this movie. It's just you can't.
not unless you just kind of like whatever. If you've been in the armed forces, you've probably seen worse things. Just being out on missions or
Maybe.
being out in basic training. But yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, that. I don't know if I would have been able to hold on to the rope. I'd have been like, dude, like I would have fallen to my
you would
death.
have died.
I'd have been like, dude, what's your problem? That's not cool. Like that would have been me.
That was pretty good. He did hang on to the rope.
He slipped a little bit.
Yeah.
But then what happened? They let go of the rope. Oh, they dropped them off the rope, but he had kind of managed to get over, and
Back
the
to
guy
his
caught
platform,
him on the platform. And then he washed his face like with one water wipe. They had a sink. But he like just kind of like he doused his face like they do in the not the L'Oreal, the like face wash commercials. And that was it. Just kind of like one splash. I was like, dude, I'd be like
scrubbing for days.
No, don't scrub. You just put your head under the water and make sure all of it comes off. Then you
keep
scrub.
that eye closed. I think you only hit him like on one side of the face.
Man,
so keep that eye closed.
Oof, pink eye.
Or no, you gotta wash. Yeah, I don't know.
You can't get pink
What
eye
do
in
you
a
do
place
then?
like that because there's no doctor. Oof. But he made it. But yeah, so then they go on this quest. They work together to try to ration the food, get everybody to show civil disobedience, and
they're gonna educate as they ride the platform
down. And then they're going to come back up and show everybody that that they did something, which we all know rich people. Like,
don't
look
care.
what we did. We and they're like, I don't. Can you please get off our golf course, please?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Oh, the poor people are doing something.
Right.
So they get advice from this old sage, and then they realize because they were going down just like beating people over the head and telling them don't eat anything. Then they reason with them, and then if they didn't reason, then they beat them over the head.
Right.
So
they had an iron fist kind of a thing going on.
It was I was supposed to say Malcolm and Eddie.
What?
It was like a Malcolm and Martin Luther King thing.
Oh,
Malcolm and Eddie.
I know. I was like, what?
So they were,
Is that a TV show from the 90s?
Yes.
Okay.
It was Eddie Griffin and Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, they start descending and they're going through, stopping people, reasoning with people. And they almost die a couple of times.
It's hard because I know that the old guy was like, hey, you need to not be yelling at people and not be swinging so hard, but you're also in this like Mad Max society, so you can't really just. He tried being nice,
right,
and then didn't really work out, so he still ended up smashing people over the head.
Yeah, he had to kill a lot of people.
That's kind of. That's always tough. Like, that's how, like, people protest, when you go out and you make a big statement.
Right.
Because sometimes that's how it's got to be.
Yeah, I don't.
But maybe not bludgeoning people over the heads, trying to save people. Because I'm pretty sure they murdered a few people on their way down.
Hey, but, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
You don't even like eggs.
That's right. That's why I'm down with cracking a few eggs to make an omelet. Or even just to throw the eggs away. I'll just crack them and throw them away. But, I think that's the thing is you've got to realize that people aren't going to listen to you. And in a situation like that, it's either kill or be killed. So they had to kill some people.
So they the one guy attempted. The main guy just kind of stood on the platform. And the other guy was like the enforcer.
I think that was the other weird thing that they
the Bible guy was like screaming and smashing people.
The Bible guy and the black guy, because they pointed out a lot about the black guy, was like the mad, angry, like physically abusive one, and then the white guy just kind of like sit there,
right?
And they even said that,
that
somebody was like, "You're gonna let this
white man, you're gonna be a slave to this white man."
Yeah.
They were calling him like, who are you, the savior?
Yeah. And so it's like you're the Jesus guy, and then you're the enforcer. It
got very Bible-y towards the end.
Yeah, it was like a quick Bible racial thing.
But also, Oh no, wait, it got Bible before that too because
yeah, a little bit. She was quoting "Eat of my flesh" and
yeah,
drink
it was
of
like it was literal.
yeah.
It
She was
was
just like reading straight out of the Bible.
yeah. So her ghost, because she was already dead. She'd already hung herself, and he figured, oh, I'm supposed to eat her, and he
Bible
didn't want
ghost.
to. Yeah, so her Bible ghost was like, flesh of my flesh.
Yeah.
All that, and it was just too literal. It didn't make any sense in the
in the context. It just
context.
kind of like
It was kind of
Bible
weird.
stuff just kind of like bubbled out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like racism and Bible stuff just kind of came out of nowhere. So yeah, they fight their way down. They get beat up, almost die. They're like all bludgeoned and whatnot. And the whole time there's been this talk of this lady who's been kind of running the
feral lady.
Yeah, she's been running the platform that she has a kid. Nobody believed her, not even the lady that used to work there. She's like, oh, that lady came in.
She was an actress.
Yeah, she essentially wanted to be like a YouTube star, Marilyn Monroe YouTube star on a ukulele. She was doing like ukulele covers of Kendrick Lamar and whatnot. And so, yeah, she's allegedly had a kid. And so they get all the way down to the bottom, which was like 333 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're all beat up and bloody, and the main guy can barely move. And the whole time, or most of the time going down, they had realized if we just keep one item of food intact, we can present this to them and show them, I guess, that
we'll send it back up, and that's our protest.
Yeah, and show that we are
humans,
I guess. I don't know. And so he sees the little kid under the bed on the last floor. And, you know, just like kind of like a Rick Grimes type thing, when Rick's all beat up, he just rolled off the platform and barely could move.
Bloody.
And I'm like, the platform's going to move up before you can get out there. So they get off, and the platform actually goes further down. And they still have the food. And the funny thing about the food,
the panna cotta,
I thought that was really cool, is if you kept any food on the floor, you either burned up or you froze to death.
Right.
So
they
you couldn't hoard
you.
any food.
Yeah.
So he was like, get rid of the panna cotta, but get rid of the panna cotta. And then actually nothing happened on that floor. I guess the cameras.
Because they just assumed nobody survived down there.
Yeah.
Like they were like, whatever's down there, we don't.
Right.
No food is going to make it down there.
So somehow the little kid survived down there.
Which I was questioning. I was like, what's the deal with this kid? Like, he didn't look emaciated. Like, how is he surviving on this very lowest floor?
I said he was a robot.
With no food.
But I have no proof.
I don't know. I think there's some magic trick or something. Maybe that was the key, because once they got down there and they were like, the child is the answer.
Right.
Is that what they were saying? The child is
pretty much.
Because originally it was like the panna cotta was the answer.
Right.
And then it became the child is the answer. The child is the answer. So, I was like, maybe it's been a test this whole time. Like, if anybody would just go down and retrieve this child. But yeah, maybe it was a robot kid that was like a trick. I don't know.
I have no idea. It was it was very strange because the kid looked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fed the kid. I'd be like, you look fine.
You wouldn't have given the kid any food?
The kid looked fine. The kid looked way better than anybody in the whole movie.
I mean, that's true.
The kid looked like the kid was an actor. Like, they opened up a door and then he's like, oh, it's 8:00. He's like, oh, here, why am I wearing my Apple Watch? Okay, here you go. Let me close the door.
Go hide under the bed, kid.
Yeah. And
do
then
your
he's
thing.
like, oh, my coffee. All right,
Wait and see if anybody comes.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Like, I would have been like, the kid's fine. We'll take the kid up and we'll share the panna cotta on the way up. And then we'll show everybody, hey, there was a kid in the basement.
The kid was here the whole time.
But the dude, what happens? His sidekick dies, right?
His sidekick bled out after they had that knife fight. Right. They ran into some dudes with a samurai sword, so he got all sliced up and he bled out on the floor once they got to the bottom.
Yeah, and so I think right after that, he puts the kid on the table full of like empty plates, and then it goes down into this
probably another 30 feet down.
Yeah, this Stranger Things
and then it just stops.
Basement.
Yeah.
And then
they're in the upside down.
Yeah, and then he just gets off with the first guy he killed, and
the ghost.
They walk away, and then the platform just goes up really fast with the kid, and like that's the end of the movie.
That's it. It's a very what's that movie with the spinning top? Inception.
Yeah.
Or any other movie that just ends and you have to infer what happens.
Every indie movie.
Yeah, like I don't. What? As soon as it ended, I go, what? Because I wanted to at least see her rise at the top level. Like that would have been great closure. Even if we didn't see anything else happen, just to see her sitting at the top level. Because then we knew she made it, and I don't know what the plan was. Like there weren't supposed to be kids in this thing, so maybe it would shake up the system if they knew a child came out of there. I don't know. And then where did he go?
Like
I assume he died.
That was him dying.
Yeah.
Because he was
So maybe he was still on the platform. He was just dead on the platform.
Possibly.
Maybe that's what happened.
Or he walked off and died.
Maybe, but then where did he go?
He was in that shallow Stranger Things water.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's talking with 11.
Yeah, I guess. I think the movie, like I kind of like we already said, there's a lot of things about society and economics and self-preservation and all those type of things that tie into this movie. And like I said, I think they did a great job setting up all the parameters. The only parameter that was weird was the kid. I don't know. We don't understand the kid, but having it be where they can't hoard food, they get switched up on floors.
Yeah, it was really actually pretty genius, the whole setup of it, the kind of evil genius of it. It was pretty good.
Because usually I can talk my way out of situations like this, like, oh, I would do this and then this and blah, 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 blah. But in this one, I was like, oh, I guess the only thing I would do is just kill every one of my roommates. And then that way you have more food. There's not really a strategy besides that.
At some point, he ate his book. So maybe if you knew going in, I don't know.
There's no real strategy. Like when you think of zombie movies, you're like, my idea is always find a 2-story house, buy a couple of ladders, and then remove the stairs.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're good. Like you don't have anything to worry about.
As long as they're not the zombies from
World War Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like my zombie stuff. But in this one, I was like, I don't really know.
Nothing. And there's no enforcers.
Right.
Like there's nobody around except for the
rules.
Consequences of, I guess there's somebody monitoring something. Says if you kept food. Unless maybe they had it was a magic platform. Maybe it had some sort of weight system. Like it could tell what you ate. And it could tell what was left on it. Like, I don't know. Maybe the platform sensed food in the room.
Maybe the platform was sentient.
Maybe.
It was, the platform was actually that computer from Interstellar. The one that could walk.
The one that would walk.
Pick people up and all that type of stuff.
That's the best robot ever in a movie.
So the lady, the second roommate he had, that lady, she reminded me of Sandra Bernhard.
Sandra Bernhard mixed with Janice Dickinson.
Yes.
If they had a baby in Spain.
If they had a baby that had plastic surgery.
Yeah.
It would be that lady.
Yes, that's who that was.
We should look that lady up. I bet you she's like a soap star or something like
probably.
that.
Probably. I have
she's probably,
Okay. Later.
I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. But you want to hear? I learned another lesson. Or I didn't learn a lesson, but it reiterated.
Did you learn your lesson?
No. Another lesson it reiterated.
What's that?
Was to be kind. Right?
To be kind?
Be kind. Be nice. That's what they say. Be nice to everyone. Right? Because what happened is the first room he was in, remember? And then that lady came riding down the platform and the old guy was explaining about what she was and like, oh, that's a crazy lady. She rides the platform looking for her kid. And so he was looking at her and could tell that she'd been attacked. And so he was like concerned for her. And he went over and was like, are you okay? And he spoke to her kindly with concern and was like, I just want to see if she's okay, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, just eat your food. Don't worry about her. And so anyway, so when she came to when they were in the second room and he was being attacked by the old man, she saved him.
Yeah.
Because he had been kind to her. So be nice to everyone. You never know. And he was awful to her. You never know who's
going to have to stab somebody for you.
Exactly. You never know. So be nice.
Be nice. Be kind. Rewind. So
that's what I'm taking out of this cannibalistic stabby movie.
Yeah, that's true. That happened. But You can still be kind to people and they stab you.
Yes, but it's just good to be nice to people.
Yeah, you can be nice to people until you stab them.
I mean, if he did not want to stab her. He rescued her a couple times.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, if she became a real threat.
Well, yeah, I think he also had his eye on her, just in cases.
Yeah, in cases.
Just in cases.
In a bunch of cases.
Yeah. You never know. There might be more than one case. Like, he had to evaluate. Because he did have one dream where she attacked him.
Yeah.
So he knew something was a little, she could be crazy. But, he kind of operated on the be nice at first. And then he, everything went crazy. But at first.
Everybody's nice until
they're not.
Yeah. That's
but
a
if
saying
you
already.
Start off nice.
Good one.
Yeah.
If you start off nice, what?
Just start
Finish
off nice.
If you start off nice, then
things might be better. I don't know. It's just good to be kind. Isn't that what Kermit taught us? Didn't he teach us to be nice or kind? Doesn't he have a song about, I don't know. He probably does, right?
He talks about how it's not easy being green. I know that.
I'm sure somewhere in his repertoire, he's got a song about being nice, being kind.
Here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you try and be a savior in a situation like this?
Ooh,
or
I
just
don't
be
know.
like, I'm gonna do my time and then get out of here?
I just don't even know how far I would survive in this situation.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't even eat chicken watching a fake movie. Like, I don't know if I don't know. You don't know until you're pushed, and I have not been pushed so far, so.
What if I push you now?
I just don't know.
I'll push you off your chair. And we'll
What's
see if you'll cut me.
Don't push me. I'm close to the edge.
Those are the lyrics.
Boom. I knew a song.
There you go. One song.
Whoop.
We'll just put that.
That's all etch in the wall.
I
don't know. What would you?
No.
You wouldn't.
No, because I don't, like, whenever there's a system in place, I know the system is trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And you can't win against 5 to 10,000
Well, we don't know. He maybe won.
He didn't win. He died.
Well, that's kind of what the savior does. Like, that's what happens. That's what heroes do. They
yeah, I guess.
Usually perish in their.
Did that dude from Lord of the Rings perish?
Which dude? The Lord of the Rings?
The guy with the giant sword.
I don't know. Giant sword.
Yeah, the guy from Captain Fantastic, the movie we just watched. I'll go look at his Ego Montoya. I don't know. What is his name? Matt.
You killed my father.
Yeah, no, but what's the guy we're talking about? He has a long name.
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah. Did he die? I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
That whole savior thing is good.
There is usually a hero character that dies. Iron Man died. Oh, yeah. So if everybody's seen it.
We're spoiling everything. I just think.
What's his face? Okay, he didn't die, but his career died. If we want to be topical, the Navy guy who. I don't know all the situation, but from what it appears, he was looking out for his crew. And then he got axed.
Exactly.
For his crew.
When you try to be the savior, you get stabbed.
I'm agreeing with. That's what I'm saying. That's what happens. But his people are getting help. Yeah. Right? So.
Because you're like, oh, the system sucks. The system's messed up. And then somebody blows your brains out.
But that's what happens.
Like,
you're not always going to get to see the fruits of your labor.
Yeah. But who even knows if what you're dying for means anything?
Well,
I think that's the thing.
You die with the hopes that it made a difference.
I don't like dying with hope. I like dying with the results. I think that's the thing. It's if you're I couldn't do the savior route because
so we know where you stand.
I wouldn't know like we don't even know if that girl going up there did anything or if they said now let's carve the girl up and serve her to the people. Like Yeesh. I'm just saying those people those people
I believe that the top fell over.
The top fell over. They Humpty Dumptied?
What?
They Humpty Dumptied. The top fell over.
What top?
He's top heavy. Humpty Dumpty was an egg. Or we don't know if he was an egg. It doesn't say he was an egg. It just said Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. He was top heavy.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, I was talking about Inception and the top fell over.
Okay, that's the same thing.
But I'm saying my ending is the optimistic ending that the little girl making it all the way to the top set off some alarm bells.
See, but those are two different things. The Inception is based off of chance. And this is based off of...
It's not based off chance.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like the top could be spinning or could not. It's like that, like the Schrodinger's cat thing. It's like this kind of like, will, but this thing is like, there's an actual group of people that are systematically going against you.
It probably didn't, because they set this whole thing up for a purpose and we just don't know what that purpose was. Unless we're right and it was a trick the whole time and they just needed to send the robot girl to the top.
Yeah.
To stop it all.
Maybe she was like Alita.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when's the next Alita coming out? When this was like...
Is there going to be another Alita?
I thought there was supposed to be, but I
don't know. So
no savior
I did
for me.
like this movie.
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't care for... It was pretty bloody.
It was bloody.
But I did like the movie because it was weird. And the music it felt like... What was the music? It felt kind of magical, but also not. Like... scary magical. It had like little sounds like a creepy clown.
You know, in the beginning, it reminded me of Back to the Future.
What?
Because the Back to the Future has these little like, and it's like
these
little like, is something about to happen?
Right.
And then
little indication sounds.
Yeah, and so there were parts in the movie that were like that, where you're like, oh, is this about to be a thing, or is something about to happen? And they even had like weird spooky music that they used, like probably the actual same like glass bowls and stuff. It was like,
right. Yeah.
And so,
because they served everything on beautiful glass plates and cake stands and goblets, and so that was clever. Yeah, it did sound like they were using like the props for making the music.
Oh yeah, the other thing I was thinking is like I always think about this when I used to play basketball and we would practice and we would have stuff that we needed to do, and you thought you were close to the end, but then you weren't, and you didn't know when the end actually was. And then it just became like a mind game for yourself, because in the movie, they thought there was going to be 250 floors, and then they kept going, and then they realized it was like 333. And so I think that's like one of the most painful things in human existence, is when you think you know where you're going and what you're doing, and then life tells you like, no, that's not what you're doing. And then you're like, well, what am I doing? And it's like, well, you just have to wait and see. And then just like, you know, crawl through all the muck and the mire to hopefully, not even knowing, hopefully get to a good outcome. And I'm like, that is a painful thing about life. And that's what I thought about in this movie when they were going through that. I was like, oof.
I did not expect this movie to relate so much with like real time now. Because like what you just said, like we don't know how long we're going to be all locked in our apartments, and our way of life is at a standstill right now. And that's what you're saying, like the unknown.
Yeah.
They didn't know how many floors down it was going to go.
Right.
So it's just, you just buckle up and keep going.
Let the midnight special
just keep swimming.
Shine the light on me.
What is that song?
I don't know. It was in the Twilight Zone.
You said Midnight Special? That just reminded me. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. That just reminded me. This movie won.
I think that's the words of the song.
Toronto International Film Festival. It won People's Choice for Midnight Madness. Whatever that means. But that's an award. And it won.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about Marble Madness?
There was no mention of marbles. Just midnight.
Just Midnight Madness.
Maybe that's like the creepy hour. That's when they watch the creepy movies.
When the creeps come out.
Yeah.
When they get the creep on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I think that's
the platform.
The only other note that I made was that he went through a lot for a degree. So is this sort of also an accurate representation of what students go through and how much debt they go into to obtain a degree?
I think it's like Was it John Oliver or something was pointing out that show that we watched a couple of times on True TV where they'll pay off people's student loans?
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, has the United States come to the point where you have to have a game show where people can actually pay off debt?
Right.
And so, yeah, that could be kind of like a conversation piece too of like how hard it is to get a degree and pay for a degree, that you have to check yourself into prison and some sort of weird rich people's game.
Right. Which plays into the whole bigger theme of the whole thing was the wealthy at the top.
Right. And I'm sure that was part of his goal. He didn't seem like he wanted to get super rich, but I'm like, he wanted to level up in some sort of way. It was kind of like Parasite, where the son's like, oh, I'm going to get rich and then I'm going to buy a house so I can get my dad out of the basement. And it's like, what is the likelihood that they're going to accept you on that level and you're going to be able to rise to whatever level it is to fulfill those dreams or to be able to topple the system? It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's not that I don't think you can't topple the system. I just think it's way harder than people think. So it's just something that you can't just like, yeah, we're going to fight really hard. And it's like, nah, you're going to die. Or you're going to like spend all your life trying to be at the top and waste.
But you can make a difference.
Yeah. Give to your local food bank.
Vote when there's no coronavirus.
Yeah. Or vote online or whatever.
Yeah. By mail.
Yeah.
It's
by
use
pigeon.
your voice. And hopefully everyone using their voice.
Well, yeah, that's a totally different thing. Like voting is not, you're not,
no, I'm just saying,
you're not
like,
on a platform, a voting platform.
I know, but like organized, like just in general, like people together. That was that girl's thing was she was trying to get the people below to participate and then to make the people below them participate and a trickle like in numbers, strength in numbers kind of thing. That's all I'm saying. Strength in numbers.
Yeah, there's strength in numbers.
Yeah.
But they also got bullets for the numbers.
Goodness. Okay. All right. We're done. That's it. We're done.
Don't forget.
Good movie.
Stay inside.
Stay home. Stay safe.
Wipe down all your groceries.
Yeah. Don't touch anything unless you're going to buy it.
Don't touch anything.
Wear a mask.
Don't go hanging out with people because you think that person's cool.
Right.
Treat the time we're in now as if you would with an STD. Think of everyone as they might have that's what people do. Okay. They go, well, that person seems cool and clean and, they're pretty. So I'm sure they got nothing going on. And then they got something going on. So don't be like, well, I'm going to go hang out with my friend. And I saw two people with a basketball the other day. And I was like, oh, okay. That's a lot of heavy breathing next to each other. Hopefully you guys are roommates. Because if you're not, then you definitely could have got something.
Right.
So,
okay.
Just be safe out there.
People.
Stay safe out there.
Subscribe.
If you're eating, if you're eating, and then the table starts to move, step back so you don't fall into the hole. That's all.
Right. Yeah. If your platform starts to move, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Your time's over. Eat next time.
Yeah. Instagram. Hey, we just saw a movie. Hey, we just saw a movie.com.
Subscribe, give us some reviews.
Like Spotify, Apple.
All the stuff. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. If you want us to watch a certain movie, maybe we'll do it.
Yeah.
We just put out our April podcast schedule.
Yeah. Find that on Instagram or Twitter. We got not platform. We got Frozen 1 and 2 this Saturday. Cats.
Oh yeah, you're looking forward to Frozen? I don't know.
That's going to be a long watch.
We've never watched Frozen. We're going to watch both of them on Saturday.
1917, Uncorked, Spy Who Dumped Me, 8th Grade, Jumanji The Next Level, Groundhog Day, and Blind Spotting all this month. Some of these are ones we haven't released. They're from back in the day when you were able to see movies with other people and breathe in their air and feel scared about it.
Guess what, guys? We have our very first episode.
Yep.
That we're releasing. We recorded it 2 years ago.
Yep.
Outside a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have that for you on the 18th.
Yeah. So, Hopi, Hoda Coffee. You enjoyed that. And, reach out to us. We have a hotline number now, but I'm not going to say that right now because I don't know the number.
Oh, we do have a number. I
forgot.
forgot.
You can call and leave a message.
Yeah.
And,
All right. Be
Cool.
safe.
Thanks.
Next time.
Peace. Love you.